Welcome to the Beat James Anderson NFBC RotoWire Online Championship. It is Thursday, February 19th, and we are 4 picks in here. Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt, Shohei Ohtani, Jose Ramirez, the first 4 picks off the board. I'm picking 8th, and I've predetermined that I'm probably taking a hitter here, but we'll see. I've started with a ace in the first round in 2 of my 4 draft champions so far, but my favorite 12-team rosters have always had just monster offenses, so I'm going to try to go that route. But everyone else seems to agree so far. We've got Juan Soto going 5th, Ronald Acuna going 6th. There's one hitter left that I would take here. Otherwise, I will take Tariq Skubal. All right, Ellie goes 7. I'm going to take Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, and then teams 9, 10, 11, 12. Really nice picks here. And then it falls off, I think, whenever Crochet comes off the board, there's a bit of a drop off to me. Fernando Tatis to team 12. I think Julio is just such a nice piece to start with. I would have preferred all the hitters except for Ellie that went in front of him. But Julio, I know he isn't always consistent from month to month, but from season to season, stats are always there. And he is pretty durable. And he's in the middle of his prime. He's on a really good team. So team 12 goes outfielder, Tatis and Tucker. Love that start for team 11, Gunnar and Crochet. It's like a dream start, really, in any league. There goes Caminero. He would have been a target. There's 2 hitters left that I would like to come down to me here at pick 17. Oh, Corbin Carroll goes, so I have my pick of the 2 guys I wanted. Let's just do the Mariners stack. Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh. Strongly considered Vladimir Guerrero Jr. there, but first base is just loaded. Team 7 going with Ellie De La Cruz and Nick Kurtz. It's probably my least favorite of the start so far. If you hadn't checked it out already, I would listen to last night's podcast with Mark Cerebro. He had a Nick Kurtz take. Scooble Carroll for Team 9 is obviously would have been a perfect dream scenario pre-Carroll injury. To me, I thought the sweet spot for Carroll would have been if I was picking, like, if Raleigh and Vlad had all been gone, I guess that just couldn't have even happened really. But I would have taken Carroll over Kurtz and Trey Turner. Carroll versus Jackson Churio, I think, is basically a toss-up with the Carroll injury. Juan Soto and Jackson Churio is the Team 5 start. That's pretty fun. Oh, man. Love that start for Team 4. Jose Ramirez, Zach Neto. That's just awesome. Ooh. I don't know, man. Team 3 versus Team 4. Otani and Vlad versus Ramirez and Neto. Whew. Very jealous of Team 3 and Team 4. Man, Otani Vlad. Like, does it get more fun than that in a 12-team online championship? Man. Team 3 is a good player too. I had to go check who that was. Don't like this. Don't like this at all. Otani and Vlad. All right, Team 1 does the Judge Jazz Yankees stack. I'd probably take the Judge Jazz stack over the Julio Raleigh stack, but picking 8 versus picking first. All right, so coming back here, I will be looking at pitcher, starting pitcher. Christopher Sanchez goes, Mason Miller goes. Man, Otani, Vlad, Mason Miller. Love that start. Oh, no. Hunter Brown was who I wanted at 32. Hunter Brown is gone. All right. There goes Lindor. Working on trying to decide whether to take a starter I'm slightly less enthused about, whether to take the best hitter available here. Could also go with best closer available, then grab the starter on the way back. Might be the way to go. Yeah, I think Yeah, I think I'll grab the closer here. Edwin Diaz, and then I'm going to just cross my fingers that a couple starting pitchers I like make it back to me. Scooble, Carroll, Yamamoto for Team 9. It's pretty fun, but it's you're through 3 rounds and you don't have any hitters for your opening day lineup. But it's a very long season. If Carroll's just Carroll, then these discounts are going to look great. Chris Sale was one of the starters I was hoping might fall down. Just the fact that he's gone this early is making me second guess that Edwin Diaz pick, and the fact that nobody else is taking a closer. I have Edwin Diaz and Munoz really close, but then I think there's at least a drop for me after those guys. I probably could have gotten Munoz at 41, so regretting that a little bit. But if one pitcher makes it to me, I'll be happy. Tatis, Tucker, Woo. It's like awesome team, but just I'm not really on any of those guys at cost this year. Gunner, Crochet, Sale for Team 11 is really nice. I highly doubt Team 7's listening because of who they've been picking, but not my favorite. Not my favorite start with Ellie, Kurtz, PCA. Ketel Marte would have been the pick if I'd gone hitter in the middle of the third there. Wow, Gunner, Crochet, Sale, Langford. That's really fun. Yeah. Oh, well, there goes Munoz. All right. That makes me feel a lot better about the Edwin Diaz pick, and I can get Hunter Green, who was the starting pitcher I wanted. All right. We're back on track here. Not a perfect start, not like a dream start, but doing what we need to do here. So I'll be looking at filling some infield spots coming up here. Probably grab 1 or 2 more starters in the first 8 rounds, and then really focus on hitting in the middle rounds. So with Hunter Green, I haven't rostered him yet this draft season, but it's not because I haven't wanted him. It's just he's kind of always been 4 or 5 picks away. But just when he's been on, he's been just one of the 5 best pitchers on the planet, and just kind of hoping for that dream like 170 inning season from him. But even if he's just kind of in the 150 range, that's fine. But he's not the perfect picture of health. Let me see what the health grade was for Hunter Green in the process. All right, so the process is SP injury grade for Hunter Green is a C, C minus, depending on your scoring format. 73% for Hunter Green. You know, not ideal for your ace, but this is a 12-team online championship here. We're not playing scared. Rooker, love that pick. Yeah, Rooker is somebody else I have not been able to land yet this draft season, but he is. I think Rooker and Hunter Goodman seem to be the two biggest values on the hitter side in the first 5 rounds. All right, team 1, 0 pitchers. Judge, Chisholm, Alonso, Rooker, Langoliers. Man, got the Yankees stack and the A's stack and Pete Alonso. I mean, he's winning homers, right? Judge, Jazz, Alonso, Rooker, Langoliers. He's winning homers. So by winning homers, he's probably also quite high in RBI and runs. But will team 1 be able to get enough pitching? Team 2 with Witt, Schwarber, Christopher Sanchez, Bryce Terang, Roman Anthony. Really balanced offensive attack. I love the way the Witt, Schwarber, Terang, Anthony, they all kind of complement each other. And Sanchez, yeah, top 5 SP. All right, we got a catcher run here. Don't like this. Man, those catchers went. They went, huh? All right. Wondering if I need. Interesting. All right, trying to figure this one out in real time. I'm like, maybe I'll go Goodman, maybe I'll go first base, shortstop. Let's try to get. All right, I'm between 2 guys here. I'm trying to figure out if I can float one of them back or not. to pick 65. Can I get him to pick 65? I'm gonna try Rafael Devers here. I have not grabbed a Devers yet. My man Mark Winokur been grabbing him. And usually if Mark's on a guy and I'm not on a guy, makes me take another look. And per several projection systems, he was the best first baseman available. Like like if you want to have a OC winning offense, you need a top tier first baseman. Whether you draft one high or get a steal, you need to get big time production out of your first baseman. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So there's one hitter I'm hoping makes it back, but if he doesn't, probably looking at another starting pitcher. Do I consider CJ Abrams if he makes it back? Maybe. Oh, there's CJ Abrams. Will he make it back to me? Will he make it back? I'm sure a lot of loyal listeners probably know who I want to make it back. That's a good pick. All right. Hunter Goodman, come on down. Let's go. All right. We got the big dumper Hunter Goodman combo behind the dish, plus Devers, plus J-Rod. Not going to beat Team 1 in homers, but could possibly finish second with that crew. Question is, what caliber of starting pitcher makes it back here at pick 80? So I think obviously stolen bases, I'm pretty weak. Just have Julio, and I mean Raleigh's great for steals and relative to catchers, but oh man, people are loving the Grateful Dead hat in the comments. Yeah, the controversial to go two early catchers in the comments, but what are you gonna do? Thanks to the people who are loving the hat. Oh, there goes Bradish, team 2. Wow. Really like that balanced start from team 2. No saves yet, but Bobby Witt, Schwarber, Christopher Sanchez, Bryce Terang, Roman Anthony, Kyle Bradish. Really, really nice coverage of 9 of the 10 categories there. All right, team one gets its first pitcher, Joe Ryan. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, I need another starting pitcher, obviously. You know, Dylan Cease, an option. Uri Perez is an option. Jesus Luzardo is an option. But if Cease, Uri, and Luzardo are gone, we probably are going to look elsewhere. Team 3 takes Uri, so that's Otani, Vlad. Just a epic start to a online championship. I couldn't dream up a more fun OC start than Otani Vlad. But then he goes Mason Miller, Cole Reagans, Ben Rice, Freddie Peralta, Uri Perez. So, not crushing it in stolen bases, but crushing it in everything else. And that's probably our leader in the pack for pitching staffs. I guess you got Miller, Reagans, Peralta, Uri versus Team 9, Scooble, Yamamoto, Munoz. I doubt there are going to be many NFBC rosters with Scooble, Yamamoto, and Munoz. All right, we're running out of pitchers that I would take on the way back here, so we're going to have to look at other positions. Would I take Framber? Doesn't matter. Framber's gone. Man. One guy I want. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. All right. Let's go. All right. Dylan Cease. We got Edwin Diaz, Hunter Green, Dylan Cease is the staff so far. Catcher's done. Now we got to work on the offense. Geraldo Perdomo would have probably been the pick if Cease wasn't there. And Team 11's got a really strong team. Gunner, Crochet, Sale, Langford, Williams as the closer. Abrams, Soderstrom. It's Team 11. Is Team 11 winning steals? I mean, that can't forget about Team 4 with that legendary Jose Ramirez, Zach Neto start. Just another dream start. It's the fun thing about the 12 teams. Huh, that's interesting. It's not a middle infielder that makes sense for me here. I am not loving my options here. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Not a Randy Rosarena guy per se, but I think he fit the brief. Needed some stolen bases. Man, I am all in on the Mariners offense. How about that? What an offense to stack in one of the most pitcher friendly parks in baseball. Julio, Raleigh, Arozarena. Did not think at any point during this draft season I would be stacking Mariners. That's maybe not a good sign. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of shortstops. I just didn't think. I just kind of wanted someone to move the needle a bit more in that stolen base category. Second base is just so terrible. I mean, my batting average is not like it has a chance to be good, right? But it's like I can't have Cal Raleigh and Hunter Goodman regress in the same year. I mean, there's going to be obviously regression from Raleigh, but I can't have them both hit below like 250, for instance. But there's players to get later that can help with average, and just not having to worry about catcher anymore. is just a really nice feeling. And I don't feel like I'm doing terrible in any category. Team 2, again, really solid, well-rounded build. Getting Helsley. Helsley in the 8th is pretty nice. Like Helsley in the 8th versus Aroldis Chapman in the 5th. I'll take Helsley in the 8th. The player I want to take most will not necessarily help my batting average problem. So I'm having some second thoughts about that. All right, team 1. We're through nine rounds, and team 1's got Joe Ryan and Spencer Strider, and that's it for pitchers. So better be right about Strider. And obviously got to get your saves, and you don't have a good enough ratio base. Like you take one of these, like one of these closers who just is kind of whatever, and he might have like a 4 ERA. It can be tough to claw back there, but I mean, there's no denying the strength of that offense. Judge, Chisholm, Alonso, Rooker, Langoliers, Michael Garcia, Michael Harris. So yeah, team 1 is well positioned to win offense. Just how good will the pitching be? Yeah, Suzuki would have been a pick if he'd come back. Gosh, all the guys I want are going to have crappy batting averages. Can I justify it? Man, do I want to get this kind of middling in batting average this early? O'Neill Cruz was definitely someone who would have been considered there. Man, I think I just got to do it. Who are the best pitchers? Yeah, I mean, it's like a dead zone of pitchers here. So Joe Adele, come on down. Joe Adele was someone else that we discussed on last night's pod. You know, Adele's gonna hit 30 plus homers this year. And he goes 5 for 6 on stolen bases. I don't know. I don't quite buy that Adele is just done running per se. I think it just last year he kind of came into his own as a just big time slugger. Finally got all his sort of contact metrics into a acceptable range, and shouts to my guy Jordan Rosenblum. If Joe Adele has the 250 batting average that Oopsie's projecting, I will be very happy. But he's probably going to hit lower than that. We'll see. All right, so there's one player I want to come back here. Always a fun position to be in. All right, we'll find out very soon. There's no way Team 9 takes him. No way. No way. All right, boom. Emmett Sheehan, SP3, de jour. Those last two, Adele in the 9th and Sheehan in the 10th, were scripted. The Cease in the 7th, I was hoping to get Cease or Uri or Luzardo there. The Goodman one was not scripted. The Devers was not scripted. The Rosarena, I had targets that weren't there for all those picks. And then the Diaz Green was kind of flipped. I thought I would take a starting pitcher in the 3rd and a closer in the 4th. But based on the options available, I thought it was more likely a preferred starter would be there for me in the 4th than a preferred closer. So that worked out okay. I never have 3 outfielders this early. I had 3 outfielders through the first 9 rounds. Just you can't really force it at these infield positions because there's clear drops in certain spots. Team 3's got a really strong roster. Now team two starting to stray a little outside what I would do with the story king back to back there. Yeah, I mean total I mean only one of the 12 teams can win, so take some risks, but Strider Woodruff as SP2 SP3 is a little too risky for me. Do love that Palencia pick there. Needed to get a closer on team one. Yeah, so team one's off to the races. Another tough spot here because all of the preferred hitters are going to be guys who are going to hit below 260, maybe below 250. And right now, I would say batting average is my weakest offensive category. I really like my pitching staff with Edwin Diaz, Hunter Green, Dylan Cease, Emmett Sheehan. Palencia would have maybe been a consideration if he'd come back. I still need a second baseman, a shortstop, and a third baseman. Those are definitely the priorities right now. If there's a player at one of those positions that I like. And it's this is my first draft since kind of the rash of injuries, so still kind of learning the slight changes in prices for the healthy guys who have avoided injury thus far. Weak in batting average and eyeing up a guy who's not going to help my back. Well, I'm sure plenty of you can guess who I'll be targeting in the 12th round. The people in the chat are not digging my Joe Adele pick, but what are you going to do? All right, I'm on the clock, and he's there, Cedar Rafaela. All right, batting average, come on down even more. But got second base, got some more steals, and I think Cedar steps it up a slight notch even from last year. Really kind of across the board. Like the biggest really the only knock on Sadon to me at his price is just that he's going to hit towards the bottom of the lineup, but and that second base outfield dual eligibility is so nice. It's a great place to hit. And you never know. You never know how the season unfolds. But it does feel good to have a second baseman I like in a 12-team league where you don't want to have any spots in your starting lineup in a 12-team league that you think are weak. What I did to prep for this, pretty simple stuff. I kind of went round by round, and I have 2 to 3 targets per round, and they've started hitting. There was a tough go there in the Hunter Brown I thought would be there for me at pick 32 or whatever that was. That kind of stung, but we were able to regroup with Edwin Diaz and Hunter Green 3-4. Fifth round, I wanted. I don't know why I thought Brent Rooker might be there in the fifth round, but I guess that's what I wanted. I also was going to eye up a catcher there if I hadn't already gotten Cal Raleigh, but then we had the Langoliers, Rice, Contreras run right in front of me. So that wouldn't have worked anyway. So I thought Devers was a pretty solid pivot in the fifth. Still got the best catcher available coming back in the sixth. Just needed the batting average, so I took Yandy Diaz there in the 12th, pick 137. 2 first basemen before I got my third baseman or my shortstop, which isn't ideal, but 12-team league is, first base is so deep in 15-team leagues. But it's just one of those power positions in 12-team leagues where you need those first basemen to drive your offense, and you just don't want to be weak there. And again, just needed the batting average from Yandy there. Love that Sonny Gray pick to team 10, pick 135 or something like that. That's awesome. Yeah, some good suggestions in the chat. Also some Yandy blasphemy that I'm not even gonna deign to answer. Willie Adames to team 5. Adames was best available for me at the spot where I took Yandy, but I could not go Arozarena, Adele, Rafaela, Adames, and hope to have a good batting average. So just needed to kind of stop the digging on the batting average there, and there's other shortstops for me. Third base is a key spot though. Wow, the Blake Snell fall ends. Team 3. I see what Team 3's doing. Team 3's putting together a nice 12-team roster here. 11th round Chase Burns, 12th round Blake Snell. Pretty nice. Just got to go kind of 1 for 2 on those. I do think Snell opens here on the IL, but I'm sure Team 3 does as well, and is just hoping for 130, 140 awesome innings. So Team 3 having 6 pitchers, is that leading the way? Now Team 1 is tied for the lead in pitching after being the last team to take a pitcher. Okay, Team 11 also has 6 pitchers. So Team 11 with Crochet, Sale, Devin Williams, Iglesias, Schlittler, Gavin Williams. Team 3 with Mason Miller, Cole Reagans, Freddie Peralta, Uri Perez, Chase Burns, Blake Snell. Team 1, Team 1's not in this mix, but Joe Ryan, Spencer Strider, Brandon Woodruff, Daniel Palencia, Ryan Pepio, Trey Savage. I'm going to say Team. Huh. It's weird because I like the. I mean, Team 3 has the most talented pitching staff easily, but Reagans, Burns, Snell, there's definitely some injury risk there. All right, there's one pitcher I want here. Will he be there? Team 7 hasn't sniped me yet, I don't think. Nice. All right, Nathan Eovaldi, SP4. Take that. So I think my biggest weakness among my starting pitchers is just, Hunter Green, Emmett Sheehan, Nathan Eovaldi. I think you could realistically project all 3 to be under 150 innings. I'll take the over on that on Green. And I think Sheehan gets to like right at 150, and I would probably take the under on Eovaldi, but in the 13th round, again, like it's, you have to have the ratios, and in a 12-team league, there's going to be just so much pitching coming into the league. If I only get 130 really good innings, I just would much rather that than 170 just kind of okay innings. it's so hard. Like when you get into a hole in ERA or WHIP in a 12-team league, it's just it can be so hard to dig your way out of it because you just have the waiver wire process just starts playing mind games with you because you don't trust yourself to throw any of these questionable guys on two starts or anything like that. Took Royce Lewis there in the 14th as my starting third baseman. Now I've got first base, corner, and third closed out. We'll probably try to get a third baseman for my UT spot to back up Royce, but it's just like I guarantee he's not accurately projected. Um, every projection system has him for over 115 games and under 15 steals. And based on the fact that he stole like 11 bases in the last 5 weeks last year, I'll take the over on 15 steals if he plays in 115 games, but he might not play in 115 games. So definitely an upside shot there in the 14th round. Pick 161 on Royce Lewis. Matt Chapman, who just went, definitely has the better projections and the higher floor there. But again, I think for my build, like I know Matt Chapman's not going to hit 250. Royce Lewis could hit 250, and I kind of need that. I need that upset there, and it just gives me another bump in stolen bases. Trevor Rogers is interesting to me. He just went at 165. He's shouts to Rob DiPietro. I'd kind of seen enough with Rogers after he was on some of my teams basically from 20. I mean, I'd been rostering him from 2021 through 2024 in redraft leagues, and 2021 was great, obviously, and that hooked me in for a couple more mediocre years. And then he has an awesome year with the Orioles, first full year with the Orioles after they trade for him, and he's just been so inconsistent. It's just tough to trust him to be the same guy he was last year. But last year he had a 17 and a half K minus walk. Did Trevor Rogers. So like if he's just that guy again, he's going to be awesome. He won 9 games in 109 innings last year. So not having any of him feels like maybe a bit of a blind spot, but he's hurt me so much. All right, so shortstop and closer number 2 are some pretty big gaping holes on this roster. Robert Suarez now going in the 12th round of 12-team leagues. He's not the cheap spec option he was for a bit there. Iglesias in this draft went in the 9th round, and Suarez went in the 12th round. I kind of think they should be going sort of next to each other. They should probably both be going in like the 12th round. So there's definitely some pitchers I want here. And are there any shortstops I want here, or I want to wait a little bit? I think based on the Edwin Uceta news, I'm going to take Griffin Jax. That could be just a bust of a pick. I like Brian Baker and Garrett Clevenger quite a bit. But Uceta, I think most people thought it was between Jax and Uceta for at least like the majority of the saves. And Uceta is about to go see a doctor because he had a setback with his shoulder. So, and they've really only talked up just how important it is for them to have Jax being like a big weapon in the pen. So, it might not be Jax, but had to go for a pitcher there or a closer there. And my ratios are going to be very sterling. Like Dylan Cease might give me my worst ratios on my team so far through 6 pitchers. $12-team leagues, you got to do, kind of even more recon on what other positions other teams are going to be needing. Yikes. There goes Connor Griffin. That was probably going to be the pick if he was there. I don't think I can wait on shortstop anymore after that, though. Yeah. Taking Ezekiel Tovar at shortstop. Uh, Another one where I think that actually probably helps the batting average, at least sort of relative to other potential options I would have ended up with at shortstop if I don't take Tovar there. Um, every projection system has Tovar for hitting over 260, so that's great for 16th round shortstop. And last year was obviously just a completely lost season, I think, for him, injury wise and everything. But um, he's just so underrated from an ADP standpoint. And now I've got my full starting infield minus the MI spot. I need 2 outfielders, a util, 3 pitching spots open. Love that Mackenzie Gore pick for Team 7, but just not as big of a need for me as shortstop, I felt. And this is just so now it's just kind of like, do you go? I think I know who I want for some of these spots. It's just kind of mapping out where I got to take them. So does the Yandy Royce Tovar run? Am I feeling good about the batting average at this point? I'm for the sake of the stream. I mean, I'm sure it's been a mediocre stream at best, but it'd be even worse if I was inputting all these picks into a software. But the RotoWire Draft Assistant is great. One thing I'm a little light on this team is dual eligibility, guys. I like having at least a couple, and I've only got one in Cedar Rafaela. Kind of a down year for dual eligibility guys. But so who's got the least pitching so far? Team 6 with 5 pitchers: DeGrom, Kirby, Fairbanks, Jansen, and Bubba Chandler. So 2 closers, pretty reliable. I think that's probably 55 saves, something like that. And then Bubba Chandler's SP3, but then the tough part's going to be who's the SP4, because there are not that many good pitchers out there. Jose Caballero, I'm a pretty big fan this year, but it's not the online championship's not the greatest format for Caballero. Like him more in 15 team leagues, especially draft champions. But I mean, team 3, some picks I don't like, but generally a team I'm a little bit worried about facing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to float a guy. God, am I going to get busted here? I want Shota Imanaga on this team. I think I've got like a shot at finishing high in whip with Imanaga, Eovaldi, Sheehan, Green, Diaz, Jax. Are the strikeouts there? That's what Cease is for. That's what Green is for. Um, but I think I have just a stellar ratio base now, and I can stream those final couple spots with guys that like I can handle if somebody has a blow up outing. I think with this staff here, and we'll see if the guy I want to come back comes back. Alec Burleson to Team 11, like that pick. He's one of the better, Team 11 going. Ivan, like Nico Horner in the 10th, Ivan Herrera in the 13th, Aranda in the 16th, Burleson in the 17th. Like that's crazy batting average in the middle rounds. Ouch. Zach Gatt. Ooh, ouch. Team 12. What are you doing? Cade Horton. Wow. Don't love it. All right, I got my guy, Kazuma Okamoto. He's my backup at third base for Royce Lewis, who, he's Royce Lewis, right? Now, do I have the safest backup for Royce Lewis in Okamoto, who's never played in the majors? I don't know. I think he seems just really safe. Tim McLeod came on the pod earlier in the offseason. We both agreed Okamoto was preferable to Munetaka Murakami. It's tough to know what he'll be like, but I'm kind of envisioning like a 270 type of hitter with like 20 homers, like sort of kind of a poor man's Alex Bregman maybe is sort of what I'm envisioning for Okamoto. But we shall see. I just didn't want to, like, third base it gets real dicey real fast. And I think Okamoto, at least he can get to 20 homers. Like I love Caleb Durbin, but I don't think he fit that well on this roster. So again, my number one goal in an online championship is to just have just a rock solid offense with just no weaknesses in the starting lineup. Like I just want to have only stud hitters in the starting lineup, hopefully by like May 1st, middle of May. There's going to be some roster turnover, obviously, but you just if you're rolling out a lineup in like the middle of May where you're starting like a crappy fifth outfielder and a crappy middle infielder and a crappy second catcher, like you're just not going to win your online championship league. Sure. Yep. Caglione would have definitely been a guy in this round for me if I didn't want to address that third base spot. And I had, like I said, I had three outfielders in the first 9 rounds. That's just way out of character for me. I'm very comfortable in the sort of late outfield market. And I think outfield is just more of a easy find on the waiver wire. Yes, outfield definitely could be a position though on the way back. Still need a MI. I know Connor Griffin's been a hot topic lately. Connor Griffin was definitely in the plans. Was going to take him in the 16th round where I took Ezekiel Tovar, but not a deal breaker. I am starting to worry about my speed though a little bit here. I might even go outfield here. Another floor pick here, Helio Ramos in the 19th round. Fourth outfielder, love it. I think he's got, I'm holding out hope for like one more year of maybe a power breakout. He's in that right range, age range. Just sucks. Home park really sucks for Helio Ramos, but still think he could potentially have a career year this year. And like I said, I think I might grab my fifth outfielder here. It'd be either that pitcher, middle infield. just all the pitchers that I would want are gone pretty much. I didn't expect to have a pitching staff I liked this much at this stage of the draft. So that could allow me to maybe take a riskier pitcher at some point here. Let's go, Team 12. All right, there you go. All right, I'm going to take Jordan Beck here. And then I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be back before my next pick. All right, we're back here at the Beat James Anderson RotoWire Online Championship, the NFBC signature 12-team fab contest, $350 entry. Just a really, really fun contest. Highly recommend getting in one of those. And I closed out my outfield before I left. So Julio Rodriguez, Randy Rosarena, Joe Adell, Julio Ramos, Jordan Beck. No platoons in there. And I know to Uncle Ted's delight, there's 5 right-handed outfielders in my outfield. getting some hate for having two Rockies. Yeah, I mean, Ezekiel Tovar, Jordan Beck. I don't really have a defense. Two Rockies, you got me. They're going to play every day, though. So I'm team 8 here, and I need a middle infielder. I got 2 starting pitching spots still to fill. It's tough in a 12-team league. There's just so many similarly appealing middle infielders available at this stage. And again, I think with the pitching staff I built, I can afford to take some shots here. Oh yeah, I got 3 Rockies. Holy crap. Holy shit. Got Hunter Goodman. Wow. 3 Rockies and 3 Mariners. What's going on? Gosh, it's going to be like every time the Rockies go on a road trip, I'm going to drop like 5 spots in the standings. All right, so I took Ryan Weathers. Total boomer bust pick there. The online championship feels like a good spot to take him. Might have to cut him, but Ryan Weathers is going to be really good for as long as he stays healthy. And there were 3 middle infielders that I couldn't make up my mind between, and I assume at least a couple make it back. Shane Smith to team 11. Shane Smith would have been my more sort of chalk pick there, but I wanted to chase a little bit more upside. Yeah, Mason Wynn did not make it back. That's a bummer. Yeah, so I'm basically trying to line up the middle infielder I want to take here while also hoping they don't get picked. And all right, we did it. Little light on stolen bases from the middle spot, but Gleyber Torres, I think, is a slam dunk pick there from just a value standpoint. So really like love my team just all the way through, but the whole goal was just to have like an offense where there were no weak spots, and I think I got that done. Pitching again, these last two spots, Weathers is already in one, but these last two pitching spots will be volatile picks, but really dig the offense. And just the amount of awesome starting pitchers you can pick up throughout the season in a online championship, it's just like nonstop. Like every week there's some really appealing starting pitcher to pick up. And the big key in these online championships is you don't want to be the person who drops the like top 150 player, and then you do want to be the person who capitalizes when somebody else drops the top 150 player. Like that's what you want to save your fab for in the online championship, is just that mistake drop where you can have the hammer and add a real nice piece. This has been a really fun draft. Really like the way Team Two has attacked this second half starting pitching with Tetsuya Mai, Carlos Rodon, Joe Musgrove, Bryce Miller, Grayson Rodriguez. Like all five of those guys have obvious upside to finish as like top 20, 25 starters. So that's what you want to do. So I'll probably be taking some pictures here for a bit. right, here we are. Yeah, we'll take Braxton Garrett with the Pirates. Just chasing upside. Ashcraft, Weathers, Eovaldi, those three especially. I'm taking the under on 150 innings, but I think they're just going to be really good innings. Eovaldi, Weathers, and Ashcraft, however many they throw. Ashcraft never kind of got to the heights as a prospect on my prospect rankings that he would have, just based on his pure stuff, just because he was always old. He, like, last year was the healthiest he's ever been in his pro career. But he's a big kid. Like, he could certainly just build on what he did last year. Sorry, just loading up the queue. Also trying to figure out how many of my, because I'm in the reserve rounds now. Got to figure out how many spots I want to allocate to pitchers and position players. Where do I not have backups? So I've got backup at first, backup at third, backup at second. Do not have a backup at short. It's like, is there even a shortstop left who deserves to get taken? All right, took Cody Ponce of the Jays here. I think this might actually be my first Ponce, but I love Ponce. Think he's pretty underrated by ADP. Just a big 6'6" righty with power stuff, full arsenal. Got a lot better last year. Pitching for a really good team, and he's on my bench, so I can kind of see how it goes. Stream him in the right spot. Sarab wanted to know if I recommend 4 core starters, 3 closers, and then stream 2 more starters. I mean, the 3 closers part is the tough part there. I don't think you can really get 3 like closers that you know are closers. So you might have like 2.5 closers. Like I've got like 1.5 closer or like 1.7 closers with Edwin Diaz and Griffin Jacks. I think the key is with your first 4 or 5 pitcher picks, you just want to have a really nice ratio base and make sure that you're at least kind of mid-pack in strikeouts, hopefully better. But if you're behind in ratios or behind in strikeouts after your first 5 pitcher picks, you're not going to be able to make it up. So, Sean Manaea was definitely in consideration. He went. Jordan Westberg went at pick 287. Andrew Painter went 286. I mean, this is going to be the best outfield I have all draft season. I know they're all right-handed, but that means they're going to all play every day. Julio Rodriguez, Joe Adell, Randy Rosarena, Haley Ramos, Jordan Beck. The one thing I'm really on the fence about is whether or not to force a second shortstop onto the roster. I think I'm going to take maybe a closer spec coming up here and see what's left. But it is like the best position players left at this point are, I think, mostly outfielders and first baseman. And I am set at both of those spots. So, I'm not set at, like, I still need a 6th outfielder, but I think I can wait a little bit at outfield here. None of the, well, I mean, Jason Dominguez is sitting out there, which is kind of funny. People in the chat want me to take Carson Bench. All right, just gonna take a shot on Clayton Beeter. Always, I've had Clayton Beeter on my dynasty teams for like 2+ years. Just when he was with the Yankees, just always struck me as a big time strikeout upside guy, whether it was as a starter or reliever, and nobody's standing in his way in Washington, that's for sure. Jordan Walker, just a classic OC pick. Nimmo's long gone. This is tough. I think a lot of the best players available are corner infielders, which is a spot where I don't really need the help, but all right, I think I'm going to grab Chase Mydroth here, which is definitely not best player available, but best shortstop available, and he's second short, which allows me to move Sadon to the outfield if I need to. Just gives me another dual eligible guy. And Mydroth's just a bench player. He's a classic bench player in a 12-team league. Yeah, I thought Miguel Vargas was the best player available, but I just didn't need him. And it's really frustrating in like 12-team online championships where you can end up in a position where you just have a hitter stuck on your bench and you just don't have any way to get him in your lineup, even though there's someone who should be starting for you because you've got your corner and your utils plugged up. Matt Shaw to team 3. Love that pick in a OC because he obviously has very high ceiling. So the nice thing about I think with the Mydroth pick, I need to take one more outfielder, and then I can do the rest starting pitchers. So yeah, so now it just kind of becomes a how many of your pitchers can you get? All right. Which Marlins pitcher am I going to take? The answer is Max Meyer. Again, he's in the Marlins rotation. As long as he's not injured, which he could be, but 27th round, hope for the best. Wow, we got a Corbin Burns pick and a Shane Bieber pick. We also had a Lucas Giolito pick, Garrett Cole pick earlier this round. So McGonigal is not out there to DWBTS in the chat. McGonigal went in the 19th round to Team 4. I don't think I don't know for sure, obviously, whether Griffin or McGonigal are making the team or not. But 16th round Griffin, 19th round McGonigal. Like, I just don't. If anyone wants to like hate on those picks, that's fine. But I just don't. I think it's worth a shot there. Like, look at the other players that go in like those rounds. I mean, they're good players, but you need to hit on a couple big upside shots in these 12 teamers. This is so interesting because there's, it's like Braxton Garrett versus Robbie Snelling. Like they're both good picks here, I think. do I care about? I'm grabbing Robbie Snelling. We'll see how it goes. He obviously the Marlins gave Chris Paddock a vote of confidence. I'm sure they needed to give him that same vote of confidence to get him to sign the contract in the first place. But you got 5 guys ahead of Snelling. Just needs one of them to get hurt, and he's definitely in. And 2 of those guys are Max Meyer and Braxton Garrett. You also have Chris Paddock, who last we saw him wasn't very good, and Snelling is just better than him. So might get sent to AAA, but lots of ways for him to not get sent to AAA. So I've got 2 picks left. I plan on taking an outfielder and another starting pitcher. Marcell Ozuna goes to Team 1. That was a consideration as well. Ozuna just 2024 Ozuna was one of the best hitters in baseball. So there's in an online championship, you could figure out by the middle of April that he just belongs in your UT spot for the rest of the season. I'm very interested to see how this plays out with the Team 1 and the strategy of 7 of the first 8 are hitters, first 5 are hitters, and then a run of pitchers of a yellow brick road from round 9 to round 15. And if he hits on enough of the pitchers, then he's just in a really good position. But got to hit on him or hit on enough. Like, are we really sure? Like, what are the Tigers doing? What are the Tigers doing? Justin Verlander. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to take Woods Richardson here. I might not take another outfielder. We'll see. I think I can. Cam Smith was definitely in consideration there, but he went right in front of me. And I think I can take, if the pitcher I want is there, I can take him and I'll have a pitcher to drop by the first fab run. And I'll just pick up an outfielder then. Yeah, so I'm not going into the year with really much of any position player bench depth. I've got Chase Mydroth on the bench, but I really think my starting offense is strong. Cal Raleigh, Hunter Goodman at catcher, Rafael Devers at first base, Gleyber Torres second base, Ezekiel Tovar shortstop, Royce Lewis third base, Yandy Diaz corner, Cedar Rafaela middle, Kazuma Okamoto in the util spot, Julio Rodriguez, Randy Rosarena, Joe Adell, Helio Ramos, Jordan Beck in the outfield, and Chase Mydroth on the bench. I think that's pretty solid. And the pitching. Edwin Diaz and Griffin Jackson, Clayton Beater as my three relievers. I would call that like 2.5 closers basically. And that's kind of what you're shooting for, I think, in a 12-teamer. Starting pitching, Hunter Green, not a top half ace probably, but I think he is a SP1. And then I think Dylan Cease is a borderline SP1. Got him as my SP2. Love Sheehan as the SP3. Eovaldi, Imanaga, just some kind of, I don't know how many innings I get from Eovaldi. I don't know how many strikeouts I get from Imanaga, but I think the ratios are going to be really solid. And then, then I was just taking shots. Ryan Weathers, Braxton Ashcraft. I have no doubt they'll be good for as long as they're healthy. Cody Ponce. I think he's got a chance to be someone that I'm trying to start every week. Max Meyer, Robbie Snelling, Simeon Woods Richardson, and now Braxton Garrett. These are guys that I could be dropping, like Max Meyer, Robbie Snelling, SWR, and Braxton Garrett. Like any of those guys could get dropped by me before like April 15th. But if I can just hit on, a couple of them as guys I want to hold on to, I think that's fine. And like I said, I considered going outfield here, but I think there's just so many intriguing outfielders that are going to be available come the first fab run, and I'll know which pitcher I want to drop by then. So that'll do it for the stream tonight. Thanks to everyone who tuned in, and hop in a RotoWire Online Championship. Head to the NFBC and get yourself in on this awesome action. And YouTube 15 for 50% off